Welcome to the fourth part of our Dog Reactivity series. In this video, we'll be sharing with you our approach to training reactive aggressive dogs based on our 15 years experience of delivering professional dog training services. We will also explain why residential training is so important, whilst also giving you an insight into the different stages of the training course and how all this transfers to the owners at the end of the course. So why do we think residential training is the best method of training dogs, particularly reactive dogs? The most common forms of dog training available are group classes or one-to-one, and whilst these might be convenient for humans, dogs don't learn best an hour a week or an hour a day. Even motivated owners will struggle to find sufficient time to allocate to progress their training. Dogs have no understanding of dedicated learning time. From the moment they're born, dogs are learning, and that learning process develops into patterns of behaviour that work for it. These patterns of behaviour are a muscle memory, so training dogs is all about creating patterns of behaviour, muscle memories that we actually want. This is the best way to train dogs generally, but with a reactive dog it's critical because the patterns of behaviour are born from anxiety and fear, which is a strong compulsion, and the dog repeats that behaviour because essentially, as far as the dog is concerned, its survival is dependent upon it. Residential training gives us the time to teach new coping methods rather than reactivity. First stage of our training is to create new positive patterns of behaviour. These sessions are high frequency and short duration, as that promotes muscle memory. We use simple obedience-based foundations in this training, which are obviously useful in general, but it's the emotional control which they by default create that we actually want. The second stage of our training course is to introduce failure. Most owners and trainers will try to avoid failure, and traditionally most training lessons or sessions are set up to encourage success. An example of this would be a reactive dog trained at a certain distance from another dog that it can cope with, so 25, 50 or 100 yards. The reason owners and trainers do this is because it makes them feel good, and no one wants to fail, and they especially don't want their dog to fail. Have a look at any dog training class. Every owner wants their dog to be the best or smartest in that class, and the trainer wants the dog to succeed, so everyone goes home happy. Sadly, away from the controlled or contrived experience of a training class, life is very much engineered to make your dog fail, and dogs in a park won't stay a certain distance away like they do in a training class. You have to walk your dog between these weekly training classes, and that has to fit in with your life. You haven't always got time to train whilst you're out on a day-to-day walk, and these real-life experiences are a constant opportunity for your dog to keep reinforcing negative patterns of behaviour. So once we've created a strong muscle memory in the dog, an understanding of the responses we want for them, we put them in positions that they can fail. And we're happy with failure because we've got the time to stay in the moment and guide, encourage them towards the positive patterns of behaviour that we imprinted in the first stage of training. Repetitive training like this gives the dog the opportunity to experience different outcomes, and positive experience is the next stage of training. The only way for a dog to learn that a certain trigger, so a person, a car, a dog, isn't something to be frightened of, is to be around that trigger without reacting. Because historically, the dog has learned that reactivity keeps them safe from that trigger. So the third and the lengthiest part of our training course is all about the dog accumulating positive experiences. If a dog is genetically nervous, anxious, or sensitive, we can't change their genetics. But what we can do is reduce these emotions to a level that the dog can cope with. If a previously reactive dog walks past or is around a trigger or stimulus 500 times and makes the choice not to react but rather follow a set pattern of behaviour that we imprinted, and the perceived fear he has of that trigger doesn't happen, then that's 500 times the dog has controlled an emotion. And emotions are easier to control the more you do it. It's also 500 times that the dog's anxiety has been reduced, and 500 times their confidence increased. All of this creates a positive cycle of behaviour, which by its nature keeps reinforcing itself. The final phase of our residential training course is training the owners. Residential training might be the best way for training a dog, but it does have one problem. Dogs associate what they learn with the people they learn it with. The handovers we provide at the end of the residential training course not only transfer the training to the owner, but also help them form a healthy relationship with their dog so that they can maintain the positive patterns of behaviour we've imprinted. Our handovers are a reflection of our training beliefs, both in theory and practical application for the owners. We actually introduce failure to the handover because the biggest confidence you can give an owner is letting them experience turning failure into success. All of our handovers involve a large amount of time in real life situations such as high streets and dog parks, and this provides random, unpredictable challenges for the owners to navigate so we can build their confidence, a confidence that will carry them when they get home. Thanks for watching and listening. If you've liked the video, then give it a like, and please press subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future videos.